Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where I ran this, yeah, but we got a million no reference exceptions because I forgot to close the hex selection window before we started it up. Now, it did take a little bit of time to run it. I mean, I don't think it was a hugely long time for startup beyond where we've already been. But that is definitely a little bit concerning. Let's see how long it takes this to go. We started this at about 25 seconds on the video, something like that. Okay, so it's still about 15 seconds. That's not too bad. So let's come on up here, and let's just purchase ourselves a hex. So we'll go to land management, buy land mode, purchase this hex, confirm, we'll go ahead and demolish it, and we will construct ourselves a postal office. Bam. Okay, so now we will select this guy. We are debug logging that. That's actually interesting. I'm not sure why we're debug logging that. But you can see here, our upkeep is $25 a month, our sorting is $10 an hour, our loading is $10 an hour, or not dollars, 10 per hour we sort, 10 per hour we load, and then our capacity is 0 out of 0. That's interesting. Also, it is outputting this every frame. This is from progress bar. Ah, yes. We can get rid of that. I'm not going to save it yet because I don't want to cause a recompile, but we'll save it when we're done doing this. Now, the question I have is, why is this capacity set to 0? Let's head into our balance variables and check our postal office. Vehicle capacity is 1. So let's head into here then and see what's exactly going on there. Our max capacity, if manager equals null, we return 0. That's fair. Otherwise, we return manager.business.balance.getBuildingBalance from type.vehicle plus max capacity modifier, which should be 0. So our max capacity should be returning 1 of type postal office. It doesn't appear to be. Everything else appears to be working fine, and in fact, it's got the delivery vehicle. Let's try switching this over to a truck. Yeah, I didn't think that would change. Also, there's currently no way to get rid of this, is there? To deselect something? Yeah, the delivery vehicle isn't updating, and the capacity isn't properly working either. So we're going to need to fix that. I'm going to go ahead and save this so that it's not spamming those debug logs. Also, the other thing that I would love to do is go ahead and create ourselves a way to close this hex selection window. So we'll go ahead and create a UI button. And this button, we're going to remove the text, and we're going to do a a text mesh pro text. And this is going to be sized appropriately for the button. We can go ahead and do auto sizing, I guess. And we'll go ahead and have it be black, change it to simply an X, and we'll just make this be a square. And then we'll place the button up inside of the hex name, like so. Position it right along here. And then we'll place this right around 125. And then I just want to adjust our right here, or rather, no, our left here. Hang on. No, this is our right. I want to be increasing this way. So to about 35. About like that. So theoretically, it can't just overwrite this. And then this will be the close window button. And on click, all we got to do is take the hex selection window, and then game object, set active to false. So theoretically, that should just close the hex selection window if it's open. Now the other question is, why did it not grab the correct capacity here? So if building.max capacity, I'm going to rename capacity here to vehicle storage. And I'm going to rename max capacity modifier to vehicle capacity modifier. And I'm going to rename max capacity to vehicle capacity, just to make sure that this is working a little bit better. So this returns manager.business.balance.get building balance from type vehicle capacity plus vehicle capacity modifier. And then this is looking for building.vehicle capacity, which is exactly what we are thinking it was looking for. So my question is, when we constructed it, did it not properly update? Surely it did. Surely it did. Let's come on down here and check when we constructed it. So this should actually be in building hex. Right here, we are in construction mode. So we populate the buildings. Oh, hang on a moment. Manager.selectedWorldHex.BiomeHexes hexid.biomehex.buildings hexid.buildinghex.type equals business.selectedConstruction. So we do update the type here. Okay. We're not storing that anywhere, so... And the other thing is we are not actually printing out the vehicle type. So let's go ahead and do that now. So vehicle type field dot text equals system.enum.getName type of vehicle type. And this is going to be building.vehicle vehicles? No, okay. We need a reference here. So public vehicle type. This is just simply going to be a get. And we are going to say if manager equals null, we are going to return vehicle type dot none. Else we are going to return manager dot business dot balance dot, and this is going to be get building balance from type. And we're going to pass in our type dot vehicle storage type. And I'm actually going to go ahead and rename this to vehicle storage type, just to make sure that that's clear. So that should automatically update as we change the building type. And then we're going to do building.vehicle storage type. Okay. So theoretically-ish, with the possible exception of this capacity bar, we should be fine here. So let's go ahead and run this, and we'll see what this comes up with. When we first select, it should come up with a building having no vehicle storage type if it's not one that we built. And that's going to be the first thing that we're going to test. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to test to see if we can close the window. So yeah, no vehicle capacity, or rather no vehicle there. Doesn't cost us anything. Now, of course, this is overflowing a little bit. That's fine. We'll go ahead and close that, and that does indeed work, and then we can open this, and yeah, that's completely fine. So we'll go ahead and purchase this apartment complex here. Confirm. We will... Actually, we need to demolish it. There we go. We will go ahead and go to delivery and sorting. We will build ourselves a postal office. Perfect. Interaction mode is now none, so we can select this. It does indeed give us that it's a delivery vehicle, but the capacity is still returning 0 out of 0. That's interesting. But I want to go ahead and start ticking this forward and see if these bars fill. Oh my. The bars do indeed fill. But that is very slow. Also, the loading bar isn't filling. Did not mean to minimize Unity there. So, the loading bar isn't actually filling at all. And the on-minute tick is clearly going a little bit too slow. So the question then is, what can we do about that? Well, for one thing, this is a lot of things to be doing 13 million times per second. So we can have this happen only in the building that we have selected. So if location equals business, or rather manager.business.selected hex, then we do this. Otherwise, we can do all of this on the hour tick. That said, that's still going to cause a hitch every hour. So that's something we might want to think about. How to go about optimizing that. So then every hour, we would say... Well, I mean, we do this here. So every hour, we would go ahead and do this. That said, we would need some way to keep track of this otherwise. I'm going to leave this as it is, and we're going to think about some way to optimize this, because there are like 13 million of these buildings, and doing this every second is clearly awful for performance. So we're going to need to figure out a slightly better way to do it. I mean, nothing here is amazingly slow, it's just that we have so many buildings. One thing we could potentially do is say, if business, or rather, if manager.business.balance.getBuildingBalance from type is not equal to manager.business.balance.generic. So if it's not a generic building, then we do this. So we only do this for buildings that we own. That'll speed it up incredibly. Now the question is, how long will this comparison take? But surely it'll take less long than doing all of this every single frame. Well, not every single frame, but every single minute tick. And then the next question is, why did the loading progress not proceed? So loading progress plus equals... Oh, loading progress. It needs to be hour progress. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and let that recompile. I haven't fixed our capacity yet. I'm not sure what's going on there quite yet, but we'll figure that out. So first things first. Let's make sure that our performance is a little bit better, and I believe it will be. In fact, I believe it will be quite a lot better. There's no need to run the ticks on things that are not ours. So let's go ahead and skip the tutorial. Come on in here, and we'll go ahead and purchase ourselves this guy. Knock it on down. Build ourselves a postal office. Select this. Capacity is still 0 out of 0, obviously, but let's, I mean, that didn't help a huge amount. Yeah. But we can confirm that this is working. That's for sure. So, our on-minute tick is obviously a little bit too slow. And I think a huge part of that is just the fact that we are calling all of those things. So one thing I would like to potentially do is offload this onto a different thread. Offload these ticks onto a different thread. That is definitely something I would like to do. Because we don't necessarily need them to happen instantly on this thread, right? We don't need to wait for this to happen, it's just gonna happen. So what if we had a second core working on just processing that and nothing else? I think that should be fine. However, I'm not exactly sure how Unity's threading works right now. I haven't worked too much with the Unity threading. I've done a fair amount with C# threading in general, but not Unity's implementation of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode we will do that after I've done a little bit of research. See you all then.